So I got tired of playing the same thing every day, and I realized I have absolutely no games to play. After scrolling around the Microsoft Store for about an hour, I decided to play the platformer Dark Souls. No, not this one. So let's be honest, if you haven't heard about Hollow Knight, you probably live under a rock. The game was nominated for the Best PC Game and Best Platformer back in 2017, and it actually won the Best Platformer award. But if somehow you still didn't hear about the game, let me tell you a little bit more about it. Hollow Knight is your typical 2D platformer with a little bit of spice. After starting the game and getting a little tutorial, the game just throws you into the open world and you have to figure everything out by yourself. You're basically running around, fighting enemies, solving puzzles, upgrading your gear, finding new gear, going back to the location you were before because you have the new gear now that helps you reach the spot that you couldn't reach before, and etc. Oh right, I did mention that this game has a little spice, and that's because you're gonna die. A lot. And I mean a lot, like a shit ton. Like, what am I supposed to do? She literally boxed me, bro. What is this, Fortnite? And yeah, a lot of you are gonna say skill issue or get good, and you're absolutely right. I suck at platformers. But with all honesty, it's still fine because it's very satisfying whenever you finally kill that boss. Jesus Christ. Holy shit, no way. Oh my god. Ah! But aside from dying from bosses, the game is actually great. You don't have to beat every boss in the game to complete the game. Also, if you get stuck, you don't have to keep coming back to the same area. You can go explore or farm for upgrades, it's up to you. You can upgrade your nail for damage, you can collect mask shards to get more HP, you can collect soul vessel fragments to get more mana. The only part is that sometimes you need some abilities that you find for the game to actually get to them. But unfortunately, there is nothing you can collect to get more. There are also powerful charms that you can just find or you can buy from vendors. That's basically you building your own character. If you want to use the charms for magic, you can do that. If you want to be more tanky, you can do that. I usually just go with the nail upgrades. Because, you know, it's a lot better whenever your nail has more range, because I'm lacking in that. And trust me when I say this, you're gonna need upgrades for this game. And it's not because you just need them to defeat bosses, like you need that extra hit point or you want more damage. No. It's because you're constantly gonna be fighting enemies from one bench to another bench. And if you die, you're gonna respawn on the last bench you sat on, and then you're gonna have to do it all over again. Just to get back to your spirit, to collect all of your souls so you have money for upgrades, just so you can get from one bench to another. And just one time you're gonna forget to rest, and then you're gonna die. And then you're gonna die on your way to get your souls back, and you're gonna have a mental breakdown. And no, yeah, that's gonna happen probably more than one time. But fear not, if you're actually more patient than me, and you definitely want to get all of your souls back, there is a certain NPC that you can give an egg to, you collect those eggs for the game, and then it's gonna spawn your shadow, and then you can get all of your souls back, but you know that's for losers, so if you die, just go back and try to kill your shadow. Yeah. And there are fast travel points in this game, the Stagway stations, that you can use a little bit of souls and then you can open them, and there's a bench to rest, so definitely use those.
It's time to stop!
There are also some trains on the map that can take you from one point to another, and there is also a bench at those, but I don't know, I haven't been really using those. So it's not complete nonsense, the game is actually being noob-friendly, like me-friendly. But also, whenever you get to a new area, you're gonna be in the blind. You're not gonna have the map, so you're just gonna have to find your way to a little guy named Cornifer who sells you the map of the area. But that is not all, because he doesn't sell you the full map of the area, so you're still gonna have to run around and then rest at the bench for your character to actually update the map so you know where you're going. And trust me, whenever you get to a new area and you're gonna be looking all over the place for him and you're gonna hear him humming his annoying ass song, you're gonna be so fucking happy. But then some areas of the map just gonna be not available to you because you didn't unlock the certain ability that you usually get by fighting a boss, so just keep on going and then come back to it later. But back to Cornifer, he actually has a wife. She is in the first town that you get to. She's a vendor there and she can sell you cool markings on your map that you can use yourself if you want to mark an area that you want to come back to, so that's useful as well. There are other vendors on the map, but I'm not gonna spoil too much. You guys are gonna have to find them yourselves. So yeah, fuck you. There are also other NPCs I didn't mention, for example the Hornet that you have to fight, but she's actually a good girl. Yeah, I was just so f***ing disgusted by myself, please never let me do that again. Grub Daddy, who is looking for his daughters that are located all over the map, and whenever you return them to him, he showers you with his goodness. I also did mention you upgrading your nail, but I didn't mention who does it. The man, the myth, the legend himself, Mr. Blacksmith.
Pretty, be careful. I don't want to see my work squandered.
But my favorite and the absolute champion. Everybody give a round of applause to the high butterfly. Or a moth, I don't know what she is. I can tell you she's definitely high though. There are actually a lot of NPCs in the game, as I mentioned, vendors, just other civilians, some fellow knights, so if you really care about the lore you can find them all, you can talk to them all to learn about the history, so if you're a lore nerd, go do that. Speaking of nerds, if you're a nerd like me, 100% completion nerd, the achievement nerd, do not worry, there are achievements in the game, and yeah, they are challenging. They're borderline impossible. Complete the game in 10 hours? What? Complete the game in 5 hours?
I couldn't wait for you to come and clear the cupboard.
At some point of the game, you also get a cool journal that has all of the enemies you fought before. It talks about how they attack, their abilities. It's just for your scrub, so you can learn and develop a tactic against them. As I mentioned before, you do need to develop some tactics against some of the enemies. Sometimes you need to strike them first, sometimes you need to let them strike first so you can dodge, create an opening and hit them so you can actually do damage. Sometimes you have to hit an enemy so you can keep them stun locked. Another time you're just gonna use magic. It's up to you, but I would develop some strategy. I also haven't talked about the visuals. The visuals just look great. They're really simple, but they're not generic. There are different color schemes for each area. It's just an icing on the cake. The enemy design is great as well, going just from basic monsters to bosses. They have unique attacks. Some of them are similar, but for the most part, each boss and a mob in the game acts differently, and it just shows that the developers actually put their soul into the game. I also haven't talked about the music, but the music for the game is just so good. Each area has its own music, boss fights have their own music. I can literally go to Spotify, boot up an OST from Hollow Knight and listen to it on repeat. Like, I mean, listen to this, just listen to this. So talking overall about the game, it's a 10 out of 10. As I mentioned before, I'm not a fan of platformer games because I absolutely suck at them, but even though I still enjoyed every second of playing this game. Yes, the game is challenging, yes, the game is difficult, you get thrown out, you do not know what to do, but you get used to it, you adapt, it's actually a lot of fun. So even if you're like myself and you're not a fan of platformer genre, I still recommend that you play this game. So thanks for watching, and leave a like and a comment if you enjoyed the video, and comment the game that I should play next. I'm gonna look at the comment and probably pick the most liked one. Also, don't forget to enable the notifications on my channel if you like my videos, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one.
Launcher, no motion. Tester, monster.